I'm Steve Perez. I'm a local Chesterfield boy. I own this wonderful hotel, a Casa Hotel. I also have a drinks business, which is my main business really, my biggest business, with Global Brands Limited. Started off importing beers, but now we produce, most famous brand is VK. I started off really as a man in a van. I was originally running a pub, and I noticed all these weird and wonderful beers such as Grolsch, Budweiser, Beck's were becoming popular, and I kind of got fed up of working for somebody and decided to set up on my own. I started to import them mainly from Europe at that time, particularly Grolsch, and it was quite difficult then because this was pre-93 and the rules were extremely complicated trying to get beer into the UK. Well, importing alcohol is particularly difficult. You've got the excise duty, you've got the VAT, you've got labelling regulations, size of bottles. People think, you just put a load of beer in a van and bring it over or a truck. Well, you can't do that legally. There's lots of red tape you've got to go through, and so particularly at that time, I could go down to the chamber, and it's amazing. Even a small place like Chesterfield would have people that are so knowledgeable, and they give me a lot of help, as they do now when we get stuck with a particular problem. Well, when I was a man in a van, I started off, the turnover was about £200,000 in the first year. The following year it quickly grew to 2 million, and then it went to 16 million the following year, and then it went 32 million, and then it went to 64 million. So it was quite a phenomenal growth. In fact, in 2002 we were the third fastest growing business in the UK, and I won the CBI Entrepreneur of the Year award, which I was quite proud of, and still am, of course. And I've got to say, it was very difficult. If you've got a business which experienced rapid growth, is where do you get the expertise from? Who do you go to? Who do you go for sort of advice? We're lucky now. We've got lots of experts here, but particularly if you've got a growing business, you need somebody to talk to, somebody who can give you that help and advice. These days, a lot of stuff we import, rather than importing actual products, the business has changed somewhat, whereby we have our own brands, but we import things such as ingredients such as glass. We buy a lot of glass from the continent. We buy sugar. We import a lot of sugar, and even our alcohol, our vodka, comes from abroad. Although everything is made up in the UK, juices tend to come from all over the world, so that's quite complex. Different types of juices, etc. And then we kind of make it all together, and then sell it back all over the world. What I would do would be try and get advice early, because there's all sorts of man traps in business, and it's very easy to fall into them. If you might think you're doing the right thing, you might think it makes common sense to do it a certain way, and then you find out you've done it wrong, and then you get customs excise round and say, or trading standards say, you made a mistake here. Even though it wasn't deliberate, you got to pay the price, and it can be expensive. So the best thing to do is to get advice early on, and see what's available. Was one or two things, like say the grants and things. We found out after a couple of years, probably I should have found out more about them, that they were available, but then we didn't qualify because the turnover was too high, or we'd been established too long. So I'd just try and spend time talking to the experts, because we think we know it all. That's the problem with entrepreneurs, but actually there's a lot we don't know.